What's up and welcome to Champions of Lore, a show about all the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champions' coolest campaigns and characters. Every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CNE Games, or later, I said Monday, it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CNE Games, or later on your favorite podcast service. Dave, Walters, and Erin M. Evans talk about all the Idle Champions lore that's fun to know about. If you're with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will ask them later in the show. But until then, Erin, Dave, take it away.
I am Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angel. Ugh. Trevor, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah, I've already messed up too. Yeah, it's going to be one of those days.
It's your turn next, Dave. I'm Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angels saga, a 6-book series set in the Forgotten Realms. It features 3 of your favorite Idle champions, Freedom and Havilar.
It's one of those
I don't know, guys. I don't know why this Wednesday feels like a Monday, but I'm going to agree with Trevor. I also play Cecilia on Dungeon Scrawlers.
Hello, everyone. I'm consummate professional BJ Walters, freshly returned from lands of shadow and ice. I do that. And I was going to say I reject linear time and all the other lies of the before times, but we will not be taking any additional Mondays today.
No.
Yeah, we won't be. And, not going to tell you guys what all we talking about, but let me just say, we had a plan for how this was going to go, and our plan collapsed immediately, just immediately. So we'll do it. Literally, we'll do it live. This is our we'll do it live moment, and we're like, okay,
you're still here.
I'm gonna change up. This is episode 40. We're changing it to doing it live.
Doing it live. Yeah, episode 40. Can you believe that? Yeah,
bonkers.
It's a lot of lore.
Yeah,
that is a lot of nerdery.
You could theoretically keep the title "Keeping It Live" because we're talking about magic that's kind of alive.
That's true. That is true.
It's very much supposed to be dead, though. Yes.
I do think there's something interesting in a meta lore sense here too. And you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong. But 2 of the things that we have on the list to talk about are not things that have very deep roots in the Forgotten Realms.
Yes.
They are things that have been sort of back formed into the lore and given the impression of deep roots. And I think that's really cool because we've talked about before how lore is not, it's not a synopsis, an agenda. It's not like do these things. Yeah. It's like here are some stuff you can play with. Right. So like the Magen are actually, if I recall correctly, from a different setting from Mystara originally.
That's right.
And they were integrated into the realms with Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. And then the awakened items, those were created by Matt Mercer, right? There's the things like that.
Yeah,
it's not that specific sort of term.
Yeah,
there's new.
So let's back up a little bit.
Okay, fine.
For viewers and listeners.
Anyway, on the over topic, make lore your friend.
Yes,
not your enemy.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about.
I mean, Mr. Data taught me that, for the record.
We're going to be talking about some Netherese magic today because the update that's coming out for Idle Champions after this show ends has to do with some spooky things happening under the ice of Icewind Dale. And some things that you might find under there are weird, spooky things that the Netherese cooked up, at least in the adventure and the current adventure book. As far as the deep lore goes, they did come from some other places. I thought a good one to start off with would actually be the Magen that you mentioned there.
I really just want to call him Magen. And every time I say it, I'm like, oh, wait, no, that won't work. But somebody should have one called the Stallion, I'm just going to say. Anyway.
The Stallion.
I mean, that's my new character concept.
Yeah.
Magen the Stallion. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. But it's like a Magen centaur.
So
yeah. In fights with spiked hooves. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So Magen are constructs made of magic. They are sort of sentient spell people. And they come in a couple of varieties, but they're all actually no, they're not. They don't all kind of look the same. But they do. They're all kind of greeny blue.
Yeah. So yeah, they got the.
These are new. I don't know anything about them until I did some research before this. So I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, they all have the green skin. What really separates them is their powers.
Mhm.
Also, one thing that does connect them that I thought was really cool, they all bleed what looks like mercury. I think that was really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Imagining the aftermath of a battle with these guys. Everything's shiny.
Everything's shiny.
So you have Deimos Magen, not Megan's, Deimos Magen, that are like fighters, right? That are sort of their duties of bodyguard, pretty much, which seems handy if you're an Arcanist who would rather be working on your spells in your laboratory. But you have rival Arcanists that might be showing up with more mundane ways to take you out, or their own Magen. You have the Galvan Magen that are galvanic.
I realized
electricity.
I wrote down that word, never once thought about how it was pronounced.
Magen? Or
no, Galvan.
Galvan.
I was like, what is it? Oh, yeah, no, I literally have that written down. Yeah, they're galvanized. Yeah.
And then you have Hypnos Magen, who mess with your heads.
And sound like a Pokemon.
We also, and we do have Stallion Megan, right? We did.
It's
the greatest
lore.
creation of any Arcanist in Netherese.
Maybe they were self-creating. The first and greatest.
There you
of
go.
Us.
Yes, I like that a lot. So these were made for Mystara, which is actually a setting I don't know a lot about. Do you guys know a lot about Mystara?
No.
It was one of those second edition settings. There's lots of lovely things.
I have the box. It's literally right over there. Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head what characterizes Mystara?
It was just another magical place with just a different power structure. Like the underpinning mechanics were all very similar. It was just a setting, because back in the day, Dungeons and Dragons was a completely setting agnostic rule set. Like the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook, it was like, here's stuff, have fun. And then later it was like, well, here's Forgotten Realms, and here's Ravenloft, and here's Dark Sun, and here's Spelljammer. And Mystara was just one of those. It just never quite took off like the others did. Yep.
And these do seem like an apt creature to come from such a place, because they do not form naturally. They are not natural to the world in any way. They were, in fact, it actually
they're created by casting a spell. Yeah.
Yeah. It is literally called Create Magen. But yeah, the essentially the three types of it. The Deimos one is kind of a martial group that were mainly used for guards and whatnot. Galvan, like you said, is electric. They, Emperor Palpatine all over the place.
They're your ranged guards.
Yeah. And then the Hypnos were psionic, which I like that. And I like that now that we've gotten to a point in 5th edition where we're getting more psionic things again, because they're cool.
That is true. Yep. When they were created, they were completely loyal to their creator, which is I'm looking. The spell came back in Rime of the Frost Maiden. It did, and I'm looking. And it's actually not that high a level spell. It's a level 7 spell, which is like moderately far along. But I mean, I think what's that by like level 4? No, it's even before 14, because you get to 9 at 17. That's level 12-ish. Level 12-ish.
11, I think.
Level 12, you get a little green friend.
Yeah, exactly. Who's just like here to do things for you. Yeah.
Do you need something shocked today?
Exactly. I mean, I like the Hypnos Magen because it kind of looks like Dr. Manhattan, and so like you're like this wizard rolling around with your little buddy who's just like giving people the eye there.
For the viewers, this is what the Hypnos Magen is looking like.
Yeah, come on. Don't you want that guy on your side?
I don't want him on the other side.
No.
Do you guys see this? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, real quick. It's just a dumb one. Like, I would love to have a Hypnos Magen just for like, spilling the tea. Just be like, what are they talking over there?
Yeah. Exactly. Although they are kind of squishy though, so you like, and wizards are squishy too. So it is sort of like we're gonna sit in the back and just like be shady together. You know what I mean? Like it should come with its own fan while you're at the back of the battle, like casting spells, and it's just like looking there.
They have a special ability called Cast Shade.
Literally. You're like, isn't that just summon darkness? No,
it's very different.
It's psychic
very
damage.
Distinct.
It's a very different spell. Yeah, cast at will.
The way you cast summon Magen or cast Magen. Sorry, the word has create Magen. Thank you. And knew it started with C. Sorry, I just saw this. You need a doll stuffed with ashes and a vial of quicksilver and a rod made from crystal that was worth all these have values on them. And you put the quicksilver onto the chest of the doll, and then you sew up the seams and cast the spell, and then the doll turns into a Magen.
You put the crystal in the doll and you shake it all.
Yeah. Also, the rod is 1,500 gold, which is a lot, but it's not consumed. So this is actually
nice.
This is a fairly easy to pull off spell. Like you could just start up just like a Magen factory, just every day punching them out.
This is a adjacent to Netherese things. I love practical magic. Like when you find these things, you're like, actually, it might be more beneficial to just make Magen. Like maybe this is the hidden industry of Ursrin. Is that how we say the name of the Netherese city?
Oh yeah, yes.
Under Rime of the Frost Maiden?
That sounds about right.
Okay, so maybe this is the hidden industry of Ursrin. They make Magen for people.
Nobody knows they're all secretly loyal to the Arcanist of Ursrin.
That is true. That plot twist, right? Like that's the robot uprising, but it was Magen. I will say,
I love that.
When you cast the spell, you do lose a number of hit points to your maximum equal to his challenge rating. So 1 or 2 or 3. And wizards tend not to have a lot of hit points to begin with. So that's a practical cap, I think, on you're like, how hard am I going to push this here?
That's why you get a bunch of impressionable apprentices.
This is a diabolical plot.
Do you want to advance to the highest levels? You'll have to help me make these.
Exactly.
You're done.
You're like, I am not a lich at all, however, and they're like, I don't feel so good after making that 6th Magen. You're like, no, it's fine.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Walk it off.
Yeah, my child.
Darwar actually asked in the chat, do you get the HP back or is it lowering your hit point maximum?
Lowers your maximum. Only Wish can undo it. Yeah, no, you
can undo it.
You have permanently given a part of yourself. Yeah.
You're like, right. All right, you do this many, and I'll teach you how to get up to the level that you can just cast Wish to fix it. It's like multi-level marketing.
Let's connect
some
episodes. You've pulled the card from the deck of many things. You've got 3 wishes, and you're like, okay, let me do some math. How many Magen can I make?
You've got 3 wishes, as many as you want. You're like, I want all the Magen. Yeah, give them to me. My undying Magen hordes, and I'll write on the back of my centaur.
Evil DM, here's the question. If I drew that and I made the wish, I wish I could make Magen without taking the hit point hit. What would you do?
If you said it just like that, I'd take something else from you instead of hit points.
Cool. I was just curious. Because I know V-Day's got a good answer for
what I would do is make it so that that's just now the rule. No one loses the hit points. So now you've got all these evil wizards just like, wait, that didn't hurt? Oh, this is gonna be good.
So then it's just a speed thing.
Yeah, your Urukai hordes of Magen.
Wait a minute. Make enough Magen to have an army before anybody else figures out they can also do that, and then you just hit them hard.
Wait a minute.
The problem is, like I said, they're kind of squishy. So like a fireball is kind of gonna clean up a lot of them. But that's not the point.
You throw enough, they're distracted, and then you meteor swarm the back of the city.
It's true.
I realized
that's just good tactics, really. Like anytime you're like, look over there, meteor swarm, you're wizarding correctly.
I just realized, weren't those soldiers that were outside the Wicked Witch of the West castle green?
They were.
You could make the Wicked Witch of the West with an army of Magen.
Speaking about shade, you know what I mean? Like that's the shadiest queen of all time. Really, Glinda was the shadiest queen of all time. But,
she came down in a bubble dock. Sorry. Let's see.
She's like, I thought you were a wicked witch. Aren't all wicked witches ugly? It's like, But I digress. Magen, cast one, make it your own.
Yeah. The other thing that I did want to point out about them is that they do not age. They're just there. They just go along until,
being a construct.
Yeah, being a construct and whatnot.
See, that's got to be pretty rough though, because this is reminding me of the end of Battlestar Galactica, when I can't remember the name of the, but there was the one Cylon that was deeply resentful for having a human body. Mm-hmm. He was like, I'm encased in this meat suit. I want to taste X-rays. I want to fly through the void of space. You're like, I'm an immortal construct with like 30 hit points. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is it for me. Yep. These are the parameters of my existence. Yeah. And then like a Warforged walks by that's like a level 20 paladin.
Yeah. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't create you with free will.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we have on here
sucks to suck. I appreciate we just made it just a broy Warforged.
Oh, broy Warforged is the worst.
See, now I got like a Warforged football team in my head, which somewhere in Sharn there are Warforged professional sports. Yes. And like they're just like walking around and just like we're like Warforged, bro.
Oh my god. Let me get a little bit of that Dragonade. Yeah, so Living Spells is another one. And speaking of Sharn, originally from Eberron.
They
was from in Eberron they were created from the Calamity, the thing that we still know nothing about. But here
morning,
the morning. Yep.
It's kind of similar with what little bit of lore we got for them in the Forgotten Realms, because in the Icewind Dale book, it says areas of wild magic and sites that have been ravaged by powerful eldritch forces can give rise to the spell effects that become living beings. So these are literally spells that are like, oh, what's up? I'm gonna mess you up now.
Yeah.
So there's spells that they've given permanence and some degree of sentience, so that they always there, they persist unless you figure out a way to destroy them, and they know what they like. The spells are thinking, they're planning.
Yeah, and
they don't have a lot of intelligence. They're like it's like having like a living poisonous cloud German Shepherd after you, which now that I've said it out loud is really kind of terrible, actually. So
yeah, they In 5th edition, they are constructs, but I actually looked back during 4th edition and 3rd edition, they were considered ooze.
Well, yeah,
that's interesting.
Well, the ones now are a living burning hands, a living lightning bolt, and a living cloud kill, which is rough, by the way. So I could see that being category ooze.
Yeah, they let's see, which ones did they have back in the day? Because there's some new ones in the 5th edition one that show up in this adventure. But Chilling Fog, Chill Spark, that I'm not familiar with Chill Spark in any way, shape, or form. Corrosion Web, oh my god, that sounds bad.
This one was Unseen Servant.
Sleep
really? And Ray of Enfeeblement of the spells that have been given life.
Unseen Servant, interesting. I mean, because I could imagine, being the spellcaster, like you hit somebody with lightning bolt, right? And it doesn't go away, and you're like, yeah, and you get done frying, and it still doesn't go away, and you're like, and then it turns and looks at you, and you're like, oh, yeah.
The Unseen Servants are definitely in Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yeah, because Unseen Servants last a long time anyway, but it's like, how would you even know it had become awakened? Would they like it tantrums, You're like, bring me that goblet. It just throws it against the wall.
It's like, make sure there's still food coming, and the food runs out, or it goes, this is boring food, and then it goes, finds another kitchen to bring you food. Like how do I best achieve this goal?
Yeah.
How do I elevate my execution here.
By the way, I think my favorite one I've read on here is not in 5th edition. This is only in 3rd. Living Blasphemy. Which
is a great name.
I feel like I want that to be a title of mine.
I was about to say that's the new character concept. That's what that is. And I will be a Magen centaur named Living Blasphemy.
I love it.
Oh, I love this character recreating.
This is another thing that gets kind of filtered back into various ancient majocracies, including Netherese, including there are supposed to be someone in Rashomon from the Ramathar Empire that was there before. Halroa probably has a bunch. These are, they're just kind of like, what if you were all wizards and you had too much time on your hands?
Which is interesting because it's different from permanence, where it just lasts.
Yeah.
It has some level of awareness, which think about, I mean, I believe, because now in the current iteration, they are born by mistake. They're born out of accident, because I can just imagine a couple of wizards sitting around smoking the long bottom leaf. And they were like, hear me out. What if burning hands was like your pet?
But always.
but like always. There's like permanence. No. Like it's its own burning hands. Like it can decide who it's gonna burn. Man.
It likes to burn things, but it also likes tummy scritches.
Honest, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and I think this should not come as a surprise, dear friends. We've been at this a while now. The moment I saw Living Burning Hands, the very first thing that went through my mind was, but how could you pet it? That was my very first thought. I was like, where do I scritch on it? The Living Cloud Kill, I have no interest in scritching, but the Living Burning Hands in particular, you're like, who's a sizzly boy? Who's a sizzly boy? Yeah.
I enjoyed. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Catch 23 in the chat said Living Vicious Mockery, though. That's just an insult comic.
That is true. It looks like a parrot.
It's called having a teenager.
Exactly.
I do love. There's on the wiki they listed some notable living spells, and one of the things they listed is actually from Pool of Twilight, which is an older book. Lissel on a Portum was an illusion who acquired self-awareness and became an illusionist herself. She became a hero of Flan and was granted full life as an elf. The wiki theorizes that she is actually a living unseen servant is what kind of illusion she is. But that's
wild.
It's the doctor from Voyager.
Super interesting, right? Yeah,
I love that. See, that's the kind of out of the box thinking I love.
The glitter fire, which is fireball plus glitter dust, is designed to uncover invisible troops. The fact that this is what they were throwing around out there explains to me why Sire had to go.
Right?
By the way, that not just they thought this was a good idea, but that they thought to give it enough sentience to go find people. They're like the world's most fabulous fireball. Go. Find some invisible dudes.
I do also love Living Cloud of Daggers, because that just sounds terrifying. It's like, hey, what's that glowy thing up in the distance? And it's just hundreds of glowing daggers.
Right? It's like a swarm of wasps.
Yeah.
But the wasps are knives. Yeah, right.
They're all stinger.
And I was just, again, the first place my head went is it only wants a hug.
Oh, no.
It's like Edward Scissorhands, but a cloud of daggers.
No.
Yeah.
I feel bad for it now.
Oh, it's a sad boy.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, it just cut up all the people. It's a sad boy.
So the ones that aren't on the wiki list that are in the Icewind Dale Adventure, and the first one, which is going to be in the update at noon again, is Living Bigby's Hand. Which is just terrifying, because like I remember the first time when my players used Bigby's Ice Hand, and it was so cool. But now thinking about it, just being like, hello.
I'd make it speak sign language. Or be like Thing from the Addams Family, and then have to like pick up a spoon and like try to communicate by Morse code. Slow down, man. I can't understand it when you stutter. Yeah. Yeah, it's just Thing, but Bigby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, I would destroy it. Like I don't know. The moment a hand came crawling towards me, like we're rolling initiative.
I would use them like the hands in the Forest Temple of Ocarina of Time, where they just descend from the ceiling and grab you and pull you up.
Yeah.
Nightmares.
Which of the Bigby's hands is the one that's a living spell?
The living one.
Well, let's see.
They all only share one adjective dish, crushing hand.
No, but it said some of the Bigby's hands.
Looks like it's
curious.
force, actually.
Okay.
The forceful hand?
Yeah, it says, a living Bigby's hand is a large hovering hand of shimmering, translucent force. It often serves as a guardian, attacking creatures that cross its path while remaining loyal to its caster.
So you can't, I was wondering if it was possible to write it like a horse.
Oh.
But I think no. Unless your DM is super cool.
We're making some cool nightmares, and I'm for it.
Here's the thing. Yes, this is all of our gifts to you, dear friends. Well, wait a second. It's got to be corporeal enough to grab. So I personally would rule it's got to be corporeal enough to ride.
Let's see.
Right.
From the stats
I don't want to argue this because I want it to be true. So I'm not even gonna let my brain drift into it. But what about? Yeah, totally. It's got enough there.
We already went off the rails when we're like, it's a hand that's aware that it's a hand. It's a self-aware hand. What if it's like a nihilist hand where it's all
Pandora's box is already open.
It's the futility of having an elbow in a world where you are just a hand. It makes no difference.
I'm now picturing one of these hands going up to a Netherese wizard, scene from Rick and Morty. What is my purpose? You pick up adventurers. Oh God.
Yeah. Maybe spread some butter. Yep.
The other constructs for living spells that are in the Icewind Dale adventure are pretty wild because we have Living Blade of Disaster, which is fantastic, but then Living Demiplane.
I am very curious about this.
Let's read a little bit of that. A living demiplane is a demiplane spell that has become vaguely self-aware. It is a shadowy rectangle 5 feet wide and 10 feet high. 5 feet wide, 10 feet high. There we go. Which creeps along flat, solid surfaces and groans softly when it moves. When a living demiplane encounters a creature small enough to fit through the doorway, it tries to pull the creature into itself, then deposit the victim in an extra-dimensional chamber.
Does it just want a friend?
It sounds like it just wants a friend. Oh, wow. God.
If I were doing a game that had this in it, I would absolutely be taking inspiration from the Murderbot Diaries and art. I would make it basically art.
Oh my God.
Because I love it.
See, again, all of these things, they're just sad babies.
Mm-hmm.
They're sad babies.
As soon as the spell gains sentience, we're like, we know it's hard. It sucks.
Yeah. Now
here for you. No, don't hug me, Blades.
Yeah, no, I don't.
We need
our love is from a distance. Yeah.
All the blades go. Now we've bonded.
Oh.
I love the idea of a wizard that just specializes in these kinds of things and is just really empathetic to all of these sentient spells that are now experiencing the highs and lows of sentience.
I mean, it definitely puts Fantasia in a very different light. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, we become angry and must slay our rodent god.
I will say that since the book says that extreme wild magic, I'm kind of tempted to add living spell to a wild magic table, where you try to cast, wild magic goes off, whatever spell you just cast becomes a living spell.
Permanent and alive, and maybe seeking revenge. Yeah.
Oh, you have to high-low roll it. Is it going to seek revenge, or does it want to be your new puppy?
Why not both? I mean, I can verify that cats can both love you and want revenge.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's a 1, 2, 3. You have to break it into thirds.
Yeah. Right.
Either it loves you forever, and also wants you to suffer, or it just wants you to suffer.
It is true. It is a spectrum.
It loves you forever, but it only wants a certain amount of pets per day.
Right. It will roll over and allow you to give it scritches, and then when it's right, lightning bolt, boom, yeah. Let me ask you this. I know we have alluded to the things that are coming out in the update, but do you want to just like clearly say out loud at the update this and this are coming, or did you have that planned for later? I want to make sure we don't miss anything.
So we do have Magen. And we do have the Big B hand living spell. There are animated objects, and animated objects have been in the game before, where there's been broom, bucket, sword, and shield, I believe. And so they're coming back, but we haven't actually talked about the animated spell before.
Were we talking about awakened objects?
Sorry, awakened. My bad.
Okay.
Awakened objects.
I kept saying animated to myself all morning too, and I think it is because of Fantasia.
There's also lots of because there's lots of animated objects. There's lots
animate
of
object is a thing. Yeah. Right.
Sentient magic items, which is not the same as an awakened magic item.
There we go. So what is an awakened magic item?
No. Okay, here's my impression, because this was one that I went to research and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was, because I definitely thought we were talking about just like sentient magic items, right? And there's a long history. I think Khazadeh or Cutter is one of the really famous ones from Legend of Dritz. But an awakened magic item seems to be one that sort of becomes sentient as it is owned and used. Does that sound accurate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it like kicks in over time.
It goes from like awakened to exalted, which it may not do in the game, but
yeah,
I like that idea.
Oh yeah, they're cool because again they're just Fantasia. Like that's for me. Like every time I think of them, it's just Fantasia. It's got the broom sweeping along and then just beating the hell out of a mouse.
Yep.
But
a cautionary tale, Fantasia.
Yeah, and again, like kind of fitting in with the living spell thing. Like they can just be done because magic is present and around and unchecked, and all of a sudden a sword is just like, huh? I'm thinking that's weird.
Yeah. Again, I keep turning all these things on its head, like a sword that's a pacifist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. A sword that is like, I wish only to cleave wood and perhaps, smooth butter, I no longer hunger for battle. Yeah. Yep. I do appreciate we're throwing around all these like creating all these intelligent things on a whim with like no concept whatsoever of the moral implications of I have given you life.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you have
go be a cloud kill.
You have a sword that develops generalized anxiety disorder. It's just like, I don't think I can do this today.
My God.
The pressure.
Battles are pretty scary.
Some wizards just like, haha, you will face my created creature, and makes the big B hand, and then it turns to him and signs, "Do I have a soul?" And oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, like where do I come from and where am I going? Yeah, you're like, oh. You're like, oh, bro. All right, I'm gonna get you a nice ring. I made the big B hand to give tummy scritches to the burning hand, and I don't know if it's. But then I'm gonna have Big B's flaming fist. That's where the glitter flame cloud came from. They had an intelligent fireball and intelligent glitter dust. They just kind of hit it off, and they're like, Frank, could you just go kill a lot of people over there?
How do you give the talk to a sentient living spell? How do you talk about, safe spell mashing?
You literally don't want to get burned. Literally. Yeah.
Okay. That's where we're stopping that one.
That's as much as I've got for you.
True.
I love it.
When a mommy fireball loves a daddy glitter dust.
God dang it.
Mm-hmm.
So one other
the
creature...
wizard's like, and then I take the credit.
A wizard did it.
A wizard did it, yeah. So one other creature that is showing up in this, I'm throwing this in as a bonus because it's sort of Netherese magic, but it's one of my favorite creatures in all of D&D, and it's a Nothic. I love Nothics. They're so cute.
They're so creepy.
I had in 4th edition, I had a little Nothic mini that was kind of like hunched over, and it looked like it had this big old open mouth smile with its giant eye. And after we did the encounter with it and they defeated it, I just hung it up behind my DM screen, like right in the corner, so it was just staring at my players the whole time.
So like a Nothic, it's like one big eyeball and very like hunched. That's kind of classic Nothic posture. And this is what happens to wizards who delve too deeply into arcane lore they shouldn't.
Yes.
They become monsters that are obsessed with great magical knowledge, and they're just they're great, but they're so creepy.
Yeah. Let's see. It says it's on the D&D Beyond page. Cursed Arcanist. Rather than gaining the godlike supremacy they crave, some wizards who devote their lives to unearthing arcane secrets are reduced to creeping, tormented monsters by a dark curse left behind by Vecna, a powerful lich who, in some worlds, has transcended into his undead existence to become a god of secrets. I actually did not know that part. That's freaking. Hey, Hand of Vecna. Good for you.
Yeah.
High five, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, Vecna got a bunch of people on the way out the door. Yeah.
That actually kind of makes sense. Got the eye of Vecna, and they got that big old eye. Yeah, I love a Nothic. They're fun. Lurkers of magical places. It's good stuff. Well, before we hop over to see what chat has been up to this whole time, and they have been busy, any last thoughts on any of the topics we talked about? Any of them, Magen the Stallions?
I'm about to send you a picture that someone did of a Nothic that's a little too good. It's like
I'm scared now.
Yeah, hang on. No, I'm gonna send it right here in this chat. Sorry, I know you all can't see it.
I can,
dear friends.
If need be, I can get them to see.
Well, it's because I don't own it. You know, that's why I just found it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good creepy boy.
Yeah,
It's got a very protruding eye.
Yeah,
I worry about this.
They went more. Well, no, safe was never in the description. It's just really more. It's more xenomorph. Like imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
it's
a
very
cool
good.
idea.
It's very good and creepy. I feel like. Hey, think about when I'm wearing my glasses and I'm not used to it because I mostly wear contacts. Sometimes like I'll open a door and I'll hit the corner of my glasses because my face sticks out a little further. And that's all I could think about looking at this big protruding eye is it's going to open a door right into its cornea.
Speaking as somebody who still hits my head regularly, that is a real, that's a thing.
I will say,
you know what? That's how you get the strongest Nothic.
I now have an idea for a Spelljammer Nothic alien adventure, and that sounds kind of cool.
Yep. What do you want us to use? Harsh language? Yeah. Here's the other thing about the awakened spells. I know before we go, I'm like, how would you even know that? You know what I mean? I'm like, you see burning hands crawling across the ground. You're like, I do? You know, you're like cloud kill. But it stops and makes a mean face at you, and then like keeps coming along the ground. Yeah, I'm like.
So part of it is that it persists, right? Like it's permanent.
Yeah.
I guess you could have a permanent spell made permanent that isn't also thinking, "I'm gonna get you."
I'm gonna get you.
So.
I mean, they're unaligned. They're unaligned, and they have an intelligence of 3. So,
but I mean, strike fast enough, you'll never appreciate that wizard's handiwork.
But then the flip side to that, though, is you know, a mosquito's not biting you out of malice. A mosquito's biting you because it's a mosquito. I mean, Cloud Kill might have nothing against you, but it's like, except I'm Cloud Kill, though. So
this is who I am.
I have a thing I do.
In your party that introduces this moral quandary is going to be the most annoying party member.
Oh my god, I just happened to catch this in the chat. Babylon Ranger 2261 says Cloud Kill that can skywrite. It just says, I'm gonna get you.
Everybody has to breathe. Love Cloud Kill. And then Big gives it a big high five.
Okay, let's see what chat's been up to. Star Chaser 43 says, quote, words are hard. Treavor Bettis, enough said. Let's see. The Black Fox 2001 says, genuinely enjoying the game. I just found it today through the Epic Store. Well, welcome. I highly recommend checking out the Discord and subreddit. Really good resources and really friendly community. I can say it now because I see all the stuff going on, community manager and all that stuff. Let's see. Ryan Hayden question. Okay. If we have living spells, does that imply that there are undead spells too? Reborn vampiric.
We haven't found that Netherese city yet, I don't think. But
a living
like Lich Cloud Kill.
Yeah. I don't.
Isn't
know.
that just blight? Yeah.
Well, I like this opportunity. So if there's you have the Netherese who definitely were flirting with Nothicism in every way, trying to delve into arcane secrets, and then you have so many fallen Netherese cities that most of them you could just be like, oh, here's a new one. It just wasn't discovered yet. So yes, you could totally make up undead living spells in this particular Netherese city, where someone sent if someone sent a living cloud kill after you, if you're an Netherese Arcanist and you are messing with necromancy, maybe you just went, oh, look, an opportunity, and created undead cloud kill. I don't know what it looks like, but I like the idea of how that happens.
Yeah, well, first of all, oh, look, an opportunity is what got Netheril into this mess, They
gotta beat themselves.
That's true. I mean, technically not anymore, but before, yes. And then there is a significant overlap between undead and constructs in D&D now, like the Reborn. You can be undead subtype or construct subtype because it's supposed to be simulating you being like a Frankenstein-esque monster. But there is in the game a prerequisite for having not prerequisite, that's not the word I'm looking for, but never mind, words are hard. Precedent, yes, for having construct and undeath being an equal state in between life and death. So yeah, why not? Yeah.
Garwar did put in the chat, new from White Zombie, living dead spell.
Living dead spell. Yeah,
you heard it here first.
There it is. Get JCM on that stat.
Yes. Let's see. Oh yeah, Catch 23 put Magen the Stallion. There we go. Catch 23 also says, so where does the Order of the Scribes animated spellbook familiar fit into this discussion? I don't know this one.
I don't either. Say that again.
The Order of the Scribes animated spellbook familiar.
Oh.
I mean, is it just bring your spell book along with you and help you out with stuff?
Yeah, that sounds like some animated Sword and Stone type stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, things like Unseen Servant and Invisible Helpers are well-worn territory. It's just having them realize, life
you have an
is new.
awakened spellbook.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's from Tasha's.
That's a recipe for hijinks, by the way. Your spell, it awakens. That's the last thing I want awakened is a spell book.
Oh my god, though, you could have such great. I would enjoy bickering with my spell book quite a lot. That would be the kind of roleplay I would really like.
It's got to know vicious mockery.
Bring your spell book to work day.
There's an Eberron novel series called Thorn of Braylon by Keith Baker, and it's spy novels basically. So Thorn is a spy, and she's got weird magic stuff going on. That's kind of the overarching arc, and I love it. But she has this dagger called Steel that is basically it's a sentient dagger. It's kind of like her like her contact that tells her what to do, right? Or gives her information and things, and it is so bitchy. It is wonderful. She's trying to get stuff done, and Steele's like, "Are you serious right now?" And yeah. I love that character so much.
That's so
and
good.
I would totally do that for a spell. Really? Fireball. Have you thought this through?
God, that'd be a good way to have that'd be a great way to have the DM have some back talk to the players. Oh man. Brian Cortijo comes in with lore that we did not know.
Like he does.
Yep.
Hi, Brian.
Mystara was the world of basic D&D once advanced D&D. Once advanced D&D had it went the way of many of multiple worlds. It was also empty inside. Literally, the inside of the planet is a setting called Hollow World.
Okay,
that's fantastic. That's good to know. Thank you, Brian. Let's see. Catch 23 says, and if you put if you put create Magen in your animated spellbook familiar, it is an animated spell containing an animated spell. Yeah, and that just sounds like you can make your best friend. Down. Yeah. Yo, dog, I heard you like animated spells.
Yo, dog, yo.
Oh man, if you cast create Magen out of an animated spellbook, do you duplicate the sentence of the animated spellbook, and now it just has the same personality?
I was about to say, I feel like the Magen's now got a body. Yeah.
Ryan Hayden says polymorph into something with many hit points, create mini Magen, turn back, repeat, profit.
Hey.
You know, not gonna lie. You're not gonna lie. 17 wizard, 3 druid is where my head went. Technically, you can't cast spells while you're wild shape, but in 3.5 there was ways around that. So pending the version, like there's an opportunity here. I immediately set about undoing that knot. Trust me. Yes.
This is again with the Magen creation discussion. Garwar said it'd be like gamers finding an exploit. No one would tell anyone until they capitalized off of it first.
Yep.
Let's see. Cassius335 says, has anyone ever customized their Magen to enjoy alcohol? I don't know.
I mean, sure. I feel like they would if you told them to. Yeah. You know, I mean, they're constructs, so I don't know that. I mean, you know, Warforged don't have to drink, but they can. But I don't think they can get drunk because they're made of like sap.
They have like a poison resistance.
They do, but not immunity. But not immunity.
It just takes a lot to get a Warforged drunk.
It's true. Get him. Yeah. I mean, so now you've got Ascension Lightning Bolt. That's a lush.
Oh my god, this one's gonna break me. Cassius335 says, imagine being the living spell of create food and water. What?
Did you just invent a food truck? A magic food truck.
See, I just picture a cloud that rains water and food.
Like Sunny with a chance of meatballs?
Yes!
Yeah. But like, what if you had terrible taste? Like, you don't make tacos, you know, you make things just like avocado pits or something. You know what I mean? Like in the strictest technicals, yeah. Like you rain nothing like kale and cucumber water. You're like, but in the strictest technical sense, I have fed you. And then that turns evil.
I love the fact that, like, given this concept of a living create food and water, we've come up with various different types of ways to encounter this. Eat the kale.
Yeah.
Versus like, I will turn a profit for reasons that I have not figured out yet because I'm a spell and I can't spend money.
I do kind of want to do Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in D&D now with this living spell. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you were just trying to help and it went really wrong and now it's raining pizza. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it wrong if it rains pizza? I feel like
never.
It's never wrong.
I mean, that is the morning that I signed up for. You know, that you're in Sire and you're like, this is the end, but it is raining pizza.
That is still one of my favorite Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors. Is the A Sound of Thunder parody, and everything's perfect for Homer in one dimension. He says, "Can you pass the donuts? What's a donut?" And he screams and runs out, and then it starts raining donuts from the sky. Oh, it's raining again.
Yep. Just deep cut, but I do remember that.
It was a good one. Catch 23 says, "Isn't a living unseen servant just a poltergeist?" Depends on what they want to do.
Right, yeah. I mean, are they mad about something? Do they have a mad? That's the difference.
Maybe that's where way poltergeists get formed. That if you have a living unseen servant who's just a little too much agency, you get a poltergeist.
See, then I think about what if you have a living unseen servant that's just a close talker? Like they're never like you know those people that like they'll put a hand on your shoulder and they'll be right in your face when they're talking to you. You're like, yeah. They don't do anything malicious other than they're just right here. They're always just right here. Hi, how you doing? Hey. How you doing, master? You want me to like go do some unseen servant stuff? Yeah. And you're like, dispel.
Ryan Hayden says, great. That sentient prestidigitation is now following me around, always cleaning my clothes, but do one joke and
A living prestidigitation would be incredible.
That really would be.
Especially because it can summon any spell. So like you're walking around like fresh and clean all the time, but constant fart noises going off around you. Can simulate noises and smell, sounds, everything. Yeah, that's it. That's its way of like getting to you.
Okay, I'm gonna read Ryan Hayden's next comment, and I'm immediately followed up with Jay's response in our text document.
All right.
Ryan Hayden says, no pats for burning hands, maybe, but great for hand holding. And Jay goes, wouldn't that be really bad hand holding? Y'all trying to burn off your hands.
It's true. It's worse. You've made it worse. Yeah. Yeah. Make them Romeo and Juliet of burning hands and need two of them. You know, all they want is to be together, and we keep making them go kill people in wars in Eberron.
Herkwork says, living vicious mockery. It's a 16-year-old emo kid that adds sarcasm to anything you say.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the
He just repeats it. This is our sarcasm to anything you say.
Matt Ender says, living charm person, adorable child, or used car salesman?
Ooh. I'm going with adorable child. As soon as this car salesman opens his mouth and says my name, I'm on the guard.
Oh, TTRPG Gifts has a good one here. If we're talking about living spells, isn't Averin, now an Idle Champions, they did put that in there.
Nice.
Isn't Averin a living wish spell? Or at least one of Todd's Averins?
I mean, if we eat him, he's living Creed food and water.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gross.
I said what I said.
Yep, you did.
Todd.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh God, Herkwork. OMG, a gelatinous cube that's best friends with several Big B's hands.
Oh.
I love
Did
that.
they know all the opportunities they were creating when they said, yeah, sometimes spells are alive?
Yeah.
So many things.
Mm-hmm. Oh my. Whoa, this is hurting my head.
Someone broke Treavor.
Yeah, Stabigail the Kobold. Fantastic name,
yes,
by the way.
Yes.
Chef's kiss. Could you conceivably play as a living demi-plane being piloted by like a kobold or a gnome from the inside of its dimensional pocket?
Like a TARDIS?
I like this idea a lot.
That could be pretty cool. Ask your DM. Ask your local DM.
So, yeah, they should say no, but ask them before they realize what they've done.
What do you want when you're that character? Because you have everything, I feel like.
It's true. There's one thing you don't have: revenge. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm looking at these spells. The CR of the living version is the same as the spell level of the original. It's not like they're not necessarily stronger. They're just like, I'm here, but I'm alive, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh. I mean, like, I'm just like living magic missiles. They never miss. You know what I mean? They just like come, they like terrorize people. Yeah.
Let's see. G Nemesis 13 says a squeamish sword that can't stand the sight of blood.
Yep.
I do like that. I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Bear Glove 01 says, what happens when a living spell gets hit with counterspell?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I feel nothing because the spell's already been cast. I think you should be able to dispel it.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, because you would have counterspelled it at the time of the casting, but it came out. It exists now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just looking at all of these different spells and like, what if they were like, again, I mean, I need a living fireball. I know we already got a glittery fireball, which is objectively superior, but yeah. Because glitter makes everything better.
Oh,
Oh.
Evil Emperor Zerg, why are you being the Dr. B of the chat? Evil Emperor Zerg says, do Nothics have religion? Answer, no, because they're agnostic.
Oh.
So they say, thank you, I'll see myself out.
You know what you did.
Lastly, we're going to wrap this up with Brian Cortillo asking, Aaron, does Havilar have any Awakened chapbooks?
Oh, what does an Awakened chapbook do?
I think it also spills the tea and
but does it tell
an endless story?
Does it tell the story, or does it just like also as you're reading it, is it also like you know?
I would kind of feel like it would change the story, but it would also be really like intent on your reaction. So like if you're not laughing at the funny parts, it would start to get a little bit huffy. What do you want? What's the problem? Do you not like the stakes? Do you not identify with the character? What's going on here?
See, again, my mind went to it's a jerk and it spoils it for you. Like you get the new Viper Sting, you know, and it's like, did you know she's gonna leave the Duke for good this time? And you're like, bro.
Like I just
that's evil. It's so evil.
That's just the question. Is it evil? Is it chaotic?
Yeah. What's the alignment?
Is it lawful? Does it get pissy at you if you fold over the corner to mark your
rightly
spot?
so. Rightly so. You've been paid war. Yes. Paper cut.
You try and break the spine, it fights back.
Like,
no. Okay, I think that is all the time we have for lore today. Aaron B-Dave, where can people find you and what awesome things are you working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can catch me this evening and every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Pacific on twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers, where I play D&D in Forgotten Realms with a bunch of other fantasy writers. You can also find me on the podcast writing about dragons and shit with these two wonderful guys where we talk about writing fantasy and other such things.
Yeah. Aren't the Dungeon Scrawlers going back to high school tonight? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, it was supposed to be we're going to Artemisia's high school reunion, but someone has some nonsense and there might be some weird illusions. I don't know. I think Cecilia makes a very angry teenager, so I don't know how this is going to go down.
Is there going to be an Awakened yearbook?
An Awakened yearbook. Oh dear God.
I'm going to message that to Eric right now.
By the way, have you considered?
B-Dave Walters, I say words about things. I've kind of gone nonstop for the last 8 days, so time has become a blur now. I don't even know when it is or where we are. Stay tuned because I got a pretty big announcement that should hit the interwebs tomorrow. So follow me. There's always something, man. Yeah, at B-Dave Walters. And Thursday nights, 4 p.m. Pacific, D&D, Twitch, and YouTube for the Black Dice Society with the world's hunkiest podcast editor.
Who could he be? You can find me on the Difficulty Class podcast every Friday, as well as Champion Psychology here on twitch.tv/CNE Games on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also find me on Twitter at the Treavor. There is an A hiding in there. Thank you to Jay for moderating the chat as always and doing a fantastic job. Thank you to Codename Entertainment for letting us have some fun and talk about some D&D. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch it later as a podcast at 2 p.m. on your favorite podcast services. And if you have any suggestions for future topics that you'd like us to talk about that has anything to do with idle champions, you can send those into championsoflore@codenameentertainment.com. Yes, today we've got the content update that is dropping in 2 minutes. Then at 1 o'clock we have Mars' Guiding Hand, and then at 3 is the Sketching Hour. So be sure to come back, get your chess codes, hang out with some cool people, and see some cool shows. But that is going to do it for this week. And so until next time, Champions out.